Hey, welcome to the Hope Is Not Enough podcast. My name is Mansfield Key III, known to most as O.P. Key. And today, I want to talk about one word, and that word is courage. I still remember, I'm in Los Angeles, California. I'm at a workshop with the famous Les Brown. He's going around the room and he's asking everyone, take a letter, the first letter of your name, and give me a word to describe you with that letter. So of course, B, I'm Big Bob, or I'm Charisma Chris, or I'm Positive Pete, or whatever the case may be. Well, you know me, I'm a little extra. So I said, I'm Key. I got knowledge to empower youth, or knowledge to empower you. He said, oh, okay, we got the acronym man back here. And then so he started asking me questions. He said, well, what about this? And I was like, oh yeah, D, you gotta be dedicated, disciplined, and determined. So you gotta expose, educate, and so I'm just taking letters out of the alphabet, just kind of acting silly. He's going back and forth. Take the letter A. You got to call an audible on your attitude. When you get in a certain atmosphere, you have to alter, adjust, and adapt. Be alert, aware, and available. Have the audacity and the authority to use your ability to attack He was, oh. Now, if you know Les Brown, he's smiling. And he said, hey, ho. What is that? I said, just the alphabet. You gave me the letter A, and but no. You A, the B, like you got, is this... And I was like, well, it's just this thing I do called Keys ABCs. I mean, it's nothing special. He said, hey, we got to talk after class, right? So that evening, just so happened, my guy James Edwards, we go to dinner with Les Brown, and he said, look, don't you get on another stage until you put all of those letters in a book. I said, a book? He said, man, you got to put those in a book. I mean, you got too many. E, expose, educate, encourage, and empower so you can eliminate excuses and execute with excellence. He said, all of those things, put stories with them, that's a book. I said, okay. He said, don't get on another stage because you'll never be able to do all 26 letters. Do you have all 26? I said, I got all 26. We leave the conference, we're on the flight back, and I'm riding and I'm thinking, man, a book. Can I write a book? By the time I got home, I had talked myself out of that book. I couldn't read when I was in school. What'd I look like trying to write a book? Who would actually read a book that I write? I don't have what it takes to write a book. I don't even have the time, even if I tried to write a book. And I had never written these things down. I just had them in my head. What was crazy was a good friend of mine asked me one night, how many of these alphabets do you have? And he just kept going back and forth, giving me V, what is S, what is T? I didn't even know I knew all of the alphabets and I had something with it. So it's unbeknown to me that I even have all of these letters inside of me that had never been written down. And now here's Les Brown and told me I need to write a book. And now I'm back in my hometown telling myself I don't have it. And the reason why was because of that one word that I said in the beginning, courage. How many times have we saw something that we knew we probably could do, or maybe we were able to do, but wasn't sure that we could do it, but we didn't try it because we did not have the courage. We saw it. We saw other people do it. We believed that other people could do it. We believed that other people had something that we didn't have. And we didn't pursue it. So that courage made me sit on the couch and say I'd never be able to write a book. And a week later, my back goes out. And when my back goes out, they're telling me that I gotta have surgery. So I get set up for the surgery. I get the little thing on my wrist. Surgery is set for 7 a.m. the next morning. And I'm talking to one of my mentors who said, hey, you need to get a second opinion. I mean, you just went to the doctor, you're not sure it's L4 and L5. Nerve is shooting down my left leg. I mean, it's painful. And I go to the chiropractor. And he's like, hey, bro, just wait. You know, if you have surgery, it's 12 weeks in recovery after the surgery. What if you just did physical therapy and didn't do the 12 weeks after the surgery and just did physical therapy? And I said, you know what? That would be great. I canceled surgery the next morning. And my job for the next 12 weeks was to lay back in a recliner chair, go to therapy 3 days, and go back and lie in the chair. And that's when I began to type on what would become my first book. And I realized that the book was not the finish line. The book was just the beginning. Meaning that for 12 weeks I'm typing. Hey, it's called an Audible. I'm putting stories, Omaha. All of that inside of this book. The kid who couldn't read, the one they said was most likely to be a failure, wrote his first book. And what was crazy, when I finished the book, it took about 11 weeks to finish the book. I woke up one day and I go to the chiropractor after going to the physical therapist. And he started moving me a certain way. And all of a sudden I said, oh my God, the pain is gone. You could call it a miracle. You could call it whatever you want to call it. But the pain was gone. When I finished the book, it's almost like God was saying, if you do this, I'm going to take care of that. And I don't know who you are, but I want to let you know that that thing that you're afraid to do, that thing that you think is not possible, that thing that you're wondering, if you do it, who's going to laugh at you for doing it? I'm on a podcast right now. Never thought I would be doing a podcast. And then I said, if I'm doing a podcast, I'm going to be interviewing people. Hey, what do you think about this? But I'm actually talking now on the podcast. Because sometimes fear will grip us and take that courage away. I heard a quote that said, fear thrives in imagination, but it dies in execution. And sometimes you got to push beyond the false evidence that's appearing real and have the courage to stand up. 5 reasons why we don't have courage. 5 reasons why we lose hope and we won't try. 5 reasons why. Number 1, courage got to say yes even when you don't have all the evidence of what the outcome is going to be. I didn't know what type of book it was going to be. What type of book do you go from A to Z and you just got acronyms and all of this? I didn't know what that was going to be. But I had to have the courage to keep typing, to keep writing, and to keep going. Number 2, courage will cause you to have some difficult conversations. Because the first thing my wife said was, you writing a book? Who's going to read a book that you're writing? And she was joking, sarcastically saying that. But that's how I felt. In that moment, I felt like, who's going to actually read a book and I had to have a difficult conversation with myself and others that even though they believed that I was not capable, I had to believe that I was capable. And I had to have the courage to do it in the face of fear. Number 3, courage sometimes has to walk alone. What do you do when the thing that you've been called to do, you got the courage to do it finally, but no one's walking with you? And you got to walk that lonely road by yourself. Because sometimes others don't believe until they see. But you got to see it here and believe it even before you see it here. You got to have the courage. The 4th thing is, courage is not waiting on the perfect time. Action has no season. Meaning that when it's time to do it, you just got to do it. Action has no season. Well, I'm going to start writing a book when I get myself together, or when I get a job and I got time, or when I learn writing. I'm going to take a class on writing or creative writing, and then No. You got to move right now, right where you are. Do what you can where you are with what you have. You have to have the courage to start. And number 5, man, courage can change generations if you just do it. There's nothing to it but to pursue it. And sometimes the thing that you're afraid of doing is really waiting on you to do it. What are you waiting on? What are you afraid of? Who told you that you couldn't do it? Who said that it wasn't possible? Who's around you that's making their wisdom sound like wisdom, but it's really fear, covered up in disguise? Well, you ain't never been able to been able to do that. Well, your mom tried to do that and it didn't work. Your dad said he was going to do that and it didn't work. Don't allow other people's fear to become your fear. You got to be able to do it in the face of the fear. The one word we're talking about is courage. If you got the courage to start it, if you have the courage to complete it, if you have the courage to fight for it, even when no one's walking with you, if you got the courage to push, even when you feel like you're walking alone, when you got the courage to build a capacity to walk it out, even when it appears like you're only doing it for yourself because the others don't believe, you watch what happens on the backside. And sometimes courage is waiting on you. I always say, when you're walking to Walmart and you get to the automatic doors and you're standing there believing that it's going to open and you're waiting on it to open and you're praying that it open and you just stand there and don't move, and then you start screaming, "Door, you better open up right now. Come on, door, open up." And you don't realize that the door is motion activated. Sometimes the thing that you're trying to do is waiting on you to have the courage to take the first step. And once you start moving toward it, watch the door start opening up for you to do it at a greater level. Hope is not enough, but you still got to have it. It may be hard. It may look impossible. It may look like you don't have what it takes. It may look like you're not going to make it. I mean, to hear Les Brown say, "Hey, put it in a book and don't get on the stage again until you put it in a book." I'm like, you're Les Brown, man. You can say that. Who are you? My name is Mansfield Key III, known to most as OP Key. And I stand before you now as an author because I had the courage to do what I didn't think I could do because someone else believed that I could do it. And I'm telling you the same way he told me that I could do it, I'm telling you that you can do it. Hope is not enough, but you still gotta have it.